All right. Everybody's got a story, but where does it start? Where is it going? And how is that story going to end? I have always wanted to tell my story, not for fame, not for attention, not for money, but as maybe a lesson, maybe as motivation for others and myself as a testimony to teach. And I feel that way because I truly feel that when we tell our stories, we deserve to be able to tell our stories unapologetically, unfiltered, and without smoothing out any edges to make other people feel comfortable with our truth. And I believe that when we tell our stories, when we own our narratives, we give courage to others to do the same. And that is how we build community, and that is how healing truly starts. My name is Passion Shar'de, and this is Got a Story. And I have no idea what I'm doing, but I do want to thank you for pressing play and giving me in this space a chance. And this has always been something I've wanted to do. This has been something I've been toying with since 2018, that I wanted to put myself out there. And what I've constantly done is get in my own way. And by that I mean the self-doubt, the self-sabotage, the even with this podcast, right? The 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 title of the first episode that I came up with, The Weight of First. And the weight of letting myself go, getting out of my own way again, allowing myself the grace to fail and get up and try again. And I think that goes with a lot of firsts when we are trying to do something different, when we're trying to walk in our purpose. And I don't know why I'm here today in front of no one talking. I don't know what gave me the courage or what I finally said, yes, okay, now we're just going to hit record. We're going to go. But what got me here to today, to August 28th, 2024, to be able to go ahead and say, just forget everything. I'm going to put myself out there. And I think it is because of my weight of first. And that weight is being the firstborn. And it is something that a lot of us, it is always just thrust upon you. No one asked you if you want any extra responsibility, or if you want to be a second parent, or if you want to be the protector. No one asked you that. It's just something that's placed on you. And a lot of times we don't even think about if a person is willing to do that. Do they want to carry that burden? And sometimes it's, are they even capable mentally, physically, emotionally of doing that at such a young age? And for me, I've never looked at it as a burden. I have always looked at it as a badge of honor. And I've always wanted to be something that my siblings can look up to, or even now my son can look up to, my nieces and nephews, and know that no matter what they go through, you can get to the other side. And for me, this episode is so hard because it's the one that they always say, like, you got to introduce yourself to people. And that is something I absolutely hate when people say, tell me about yourself. And I'm always like, just ask me a question. I'm going to give you an answer, but do not be upset because I'm going to tell you the truth. Um, so I guess that's where I can kind of start is who I am. So I am the oldest of, I would normally say four, but there's seven of us. I have three sisters and I have three brothers. We didn't all grow up in the same house. We will get to that later. But my the nucleus of my childhood, um, oldest of four. And my mom had me a little bit after she turned 16. She turned 16 in March. I was born in June. And the way I always describe my childhood in the shortest form possible is I say, well, my mom had me right after she turned 16 and she had all four of us by the time she turned 21. So kind of let that sink in. And the thing I always say is like, my mom lived out her 20s. So of course I'm left at home with kids on multiple occasions. And again, it wasn't something that I was mad about because it was just normal. You look back on things when you're an adult and you look at it differently. But at the same time, I have given my mother a lot of grace for a lot of things because as I've gotten older, what I constantly do is I think about how old I'm turning. I did it when I was 25, 30, 35. I did all of that. And I always think about where my mom was when she was that particular age. And then I also think about where I was as a child when my mom was whatever age. And for me, if I can see any type of growth or any type of change, positive change from one generation to the next, meaning with my son, then I'm completely happy and I know I'm moving in the right direction. And I say that because no matter what, I know my childhood has made me who I am today. It's made me the type of mother I am, the type of wife, the type of friend, cousin, aunt, all of that. It shaped me how I am. And where I'm from, and if anybody is from where I'm from a small town called Sherman, Texas. And anybody that knew us back in the day knows what I meant to that foursome, that me, Precious, Promise, and Prince. And we were like, okay, the movie, I'm going to show my age. The movie Bebe's Kids, like people would say, those ain't Bebe's kids. Those are Nina's kids. And I want to know, were we really, really that bad? Somebody from Sherman, if, okay, not the people my age, get your mom or somebody like that. Ask them if we really were that bad. Because I don't think we were that bad. There were some badass kids back in the day, but we weren't doing that type of stuff. But I think we were just regular kids. But to go back to the introduction of me, so I didn't I didn't like the only thing I didn't like about my childhood was getting in trouble for what I call dumb shit. And I don't mean dumb shit like I did something and I should have gotten in trouble for that dumb thing that I did. I mean dumb stuff like uh, case in point. This is called Got a Story. Let me tell you a story. Okay, so my mom would go out. It was a particular day. Like it was a particular day. I don't know where she went. I don't know if she went to go get her hair done. I don't know if she went to the grocery store. I don't know if she went to the bank. I don't know where she went. She went somewhere. Anywhere that a normal 21 to 30-year-old person would go back in the day. And I am left at home with three kids. And so at this particular time in our lives, we are really into like the BMX aggressive inline skating thing. So when I say that, I'm talking about like the rollerblades that had like they had like two wheels and then they had the little thing in the middle and two more wheels and you could grind across the thing. I would do that shit, right? And so we thought that we were gonna be like in the BMX games and we're gonna win all these trophies. Like we were heavily into this stuff. So My mom's gone, and we get this bright idea to build a ramp and jump it with our bikes, skateboards, and these aggressive inline skates. And so what we start to notice is the faster you go, the more height you get. And I go in the house and I'm going to get some water or Kool-Aid. I don't know what I was going to get, but I'm walking back out and my brothers come up to me and they're like, "Hey, we're going to jump it." And I'm like, "Jump what?" And these fools are like, "We're going to jump the fence." Now, this ramp that we built wasn't no more than 24 inches off the ground. And the simple fact is, we don't know anything about physics at this point, but we get ready to understand gravity. And so we lived in these duplexes, and duplex, two houses are connected, but ours was two houses connected, and the other two, and they face each other. So there's like this breezeway that goes down to the back, and there's this fence. And my brothers are saying that they're going to jump this fence, and so we are washing, and Prince is going to do it. He's like, "I'm going to do it." So he goes to the end of the driveway and he gets the pedaling and he is going. That bike is leaning. He hits that ramp, boom, and he starts to soar. And we're like, he's going to make it. He's really going to make it. I shit you not. I don't know if his weight distribution started to be off. I don't know what he did while he was in the air, but he starts to lean back, right? And we're like, "Prince, let the bike go." And he lets the bike go. The bike clears the fence. Prince does not. This boy gets his lip stuck on the top of the fence. And I am not talking about one of these homeowner association fences that we have today. I am talking about one of those metal fences where it's like this up at the top. One of those things that they're like death traps. So he gets up there and he gets his lip stuck on the fence. And he comes down, and it's like we're like, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's a little blood." I get a paper towel and I dab it, right? I'm just dabbing it. And I take a look, and there is a chunk of his lip missing. Baby lip gone. Just nowhere to be found. So I'm freaking out. Promise is freaking out. Precious is crying. Why the fuck is she crying? There is absolutely nothing wrong with her. So I don't know what to do. So my initial reaction is, I'm calling 911. I call 911 and I get on the phone with the lady and I'm like, "Hey, my brother just lost his lip." And the lady's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my brother just lost his lip. Y'all need to get here." And so I hang up the phone, and the ambulance comes, and they come and they get Prince. And as he's leaving, my mom's white Honda Accord is passing. And I know at this point, she has no idea that one of her kids is in the ambulance. And so she gets there and she's like, "What happened?" And I tell her, and when I tell you, she slapped the dog shit out of me. And I know I'm sitting here like, you're thinking, like, "Oh, she was mad that you let the boys or y'all were sitting here jumping a fence." No, she is not upset that her child has jumped the fence and his lip, he's going to the hospital. She's not even upset about a medical bill, which I know some of y'all are going to say. We had Medicaid. The shit was free. This woman is upset because there are people at her house. And I don't know if that's a black thing. I don't know what it is, but that is why she was upset. And so I say that because from that moment, that changed how I dealt with situations with my brothers and sisters for the rest of my life. It was like, if something happens and there is a need for me to call for help, I can't do that anymore. I have to figure out these situations on my own. So The next time someone gets stuck up on one of a fence, precious, now we don't call the ambulance. Okay, so we were playing basketball at one of the churches down the street, the Catholic church's school. And when we were climbing back over, my sister's not athletic at all. When we were coming back over, Precious got her leg stuck on the same type of fence. So instead of calling for help, now you just walking down the street all the way home with blood dripping down your calf muscle because we can't call the ambulance. I think the baby probably needed a tetanus shot, but she still has both her legs and her feet, so I'm pretty sure she's okay. But I say that because that really did change how I handled situations. I can no longer call for help. I have to figure these things out by myself. And I don't know why that was a pertinent story to introduce myself, but like as a child, you're put in these situations and now because for me, I don't want to get a certain type of reaction from my mother, I'm not calling for help. I'm gonna figure these things out. And did I make the best decisions? 9 times out of 10, no, because I'm 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm too young to, my brain ain't developed. But again, I don't know why that was a pertinent story. But if you ever, if you ever meet my brother Prince, look at his lip. That man still has a scar till this day from where that, like, they sewed it back together, but he still has that scar till this day. Um, and it's always a story that we all remember. Like it is just that is the essence of our childhood right there. Like you're gonna leave us alone, something's gonna happen, and it just turned into like we got to figure other things out. Um, but from that, what I want to know and what I kind of want to open up for discussion, and I know this episode is probably all over the place, but what I want to know is what decisions did you have to make when you were younger? And you don't necessarily have to be the oldest. What was that first decision that you made that made maybe changed how you dealt with situations for the rest of your life or maybe for the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life before you kind of learn from them as an adult? Um like how did those shape you? Like what weight did you have to overcome in your life or get off of you before you could move forward? And I kind of want to know those stories because something so funny has a serious effect on me for decades after in my life. And I just want to know if anybody else has anything like that. If anybody's ever felt like, did you feel like that as a child that you could not call for help? And how did you deal with situations? And how do you deal with situations now? And I don't know. I don't know why that was important, but I do want to know how that affected you. I do want to know your stories. Um, because for me, the only way for people to know that we were here is for us to tell our stories and to have those live on. And I want my son to kind of know how I grew up and how it's so much different than him because like kids don't play outside anymore like that. But I'm actually going to stop rambling. Um again, I do thank you all for like listening to this first story and I promise these episodes will get better. This is just a very awkward one to kind of like introduce myself. But if you have any thoughts, suggestions, if you thought this story was funny, if you had anything that happened like that to you, drop me a comment, shoot me a DM. By the time I drop this, because we're about to go on vacation. When I get back, I should have like the email set up and it's Passion Shar'de at gotastorypod.com. You can email me there if you would like. Um, and just let me know how you felt about the story or tell me your own story. And if you want me to read it, I will. And maybe this is something we can circle back to and open up a bigger conversation because right now I'm just kind of talking to myself. I don't have anybody to bounce anything off of. And I would love to do that with you all. So, again, my name is Passion Shar'de, and this has got a story. And I want this to be a space where we laugh, we cry, we do all the things. Um, but we come out on the other side together and we make each other better. So until next time, when I come back from vacation, hopefully I'll have some good stories about that and I can tie that in. But let me go enjoy my vacation with my wife and my child. And hopefully I got some stories for you guys when I come back. And again, thank you.